Welcome back. Now, Clement Nwankwo is the Executive Director of the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center. He shared with us his opinion on several issues concerning the 8th National Assembly. He started by giving us an update on the work of the Needs Assessment Committee set up by the House of Representatives.
The Committee on National Assembly Needs Assessment has been consulting among stakeholders. First of all, it's a committee that is predominated by civil society organizations who are doing a lot of advocacy work with the National Assembly. It comes from a sense in which Nigerians feel that the National Assembly is overfunded. From the National Assembly perspective, that there are several of its needs that are not being met even by existing funding. So the responsibility of the committee is to look at the needs of the National Assembly, the resources available, the adequacy or not of it, or indeed even the appropriate distribution and allocation of those resources. A good thing is, of course, that we do have civil society organizations who are independent, who have a sense of what is important in terms of the work of the National Assembly. In addition as well, you have representatives in this committee of professional groups like the accountants body, ICANN, the Bar Association, the Union of Journalists, and we've been meeting in the last two weeks looking at the modalities of work of the committee, the stakeholders that need to be consulted, and how we can get information from the National Assembly on budgets, on resources, and the allocation of it.
The work of the committee, to a lot of people, is a landmark development. Even when the Speaker of the House was inaugurating your committee, he did say that it appeared no work had been done before in that line. Now, what is your own assessment? How do you feel about taking on such duties? What should we expect?
First of all, it was a surprise to see the constitution of the committee. It's of people who are even very critical of the National Assembly and its funding and budget. And so my hope is that these are people who would come in and prepared to do an independent and thorough job. Secondly, we have not been there's been no effort to, or even attempt to influence the work of the committee, and we've made the point quite clear that we would like to do an independent work, which we would present to the National Assembly. There are several concerns, of course. The concern about budget for the National Assembly, the allocation within the National Assembly of these resources, and our hope is that we can be able to get as much information from the National Assembly as the committee requires to be able to reach a report that would help in responding to the concerns of Nigerians. What we would like to see is a National Assembly that delivers on expectations of Nigerians, and that it has the capacity to appropriately allocate its resources, but also to utilize those resources in a very prudent manner.
How will the recommendations of this committee be handled, especially taking into consideration that the work of the Revenue Mobilization Committee, or that agency that deals with the revenue or remuneration of the lawmakers, how will your own committee's report fit into their own work as it is?
Well, first of all, the remuneration of lawmakers is determined by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, so we have no responsibility for fixing even determining the revenue or income of legislators. The bigger question, and when you look at all this whole debate about political office holders taking a salary cut, I don't support it. I don't think that the big issue is about the salaries as determined by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. The salaries as determined at this time is very modest. The big question is about what is not recommended by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. It's about those extra perks, those extra allowances, those extra dipping the hands into resources that happens outside of legal limits. That's what the issue is. If a legislator is earning 980,000 naira a month, that's modest. And that's what the fiscal, the commission provides. The question then is, how come there's a big debate about legislators earning in the millions? That's what the issue is, and how does that come about? So legally, I think whether it is the president of the federation who earns under 2 million naira or the vice president, it's not about taking a pay cut. It's about ensuring that they operate within the dictates of the commission that is responsible for determining their salaries, and that they do not devise and create extra avenues for making monies that are not legal.
When you say you don't have a problem with the pay cut, now the monies, the remuneration from the revenue mobilization has also been the point where a lot of Nigerians disagree with what the lawmakers earn. When it comes to the allowances, the salary itself, they say it comes to among the highest, some of the highest in the world. So when you say you are not really in support of a pay cut,
whether it's legislators or in the executive, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, for instance, doesn't fix security votes that governors take in the states or the president at the national level. Yes. It doesn't fix travel allowances. It doesn't fix so much. These are determined by the officers themselves. It doesn't fix what a legislator takes as constituency allowance. Those are determined by the institution. So those are some of the questions that are still hanging. But my point is that if the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is legally authorized to earn under 2 million naira a month, if he operates within that, you would not say it is ostentatious. It's in fact very modest. I would even say meager. The point is, what then happens when you know that those monies are not considered by them as adequate? It's the extra devices, extra creations that are put in place that enables them to take out more money than is voted for. So that's the point that I make, that it's better that you remunerate them adequately so they don't begin to search for those extras that raise the concerns that Nigerians have about overpaid public servants.